Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Wow! A cop limping down the street, bleeding from the shoulder, face bruised, looking like hell? You know what that is? Cool! That's cool!
No need to dress this one up. Just...
Oh, okay. But yeah.
Are you trying to ask for a bribe?
Sorry, detective.
You see two lowly.
I can see.
Speaking of luxury, a pair of Faun Ultras. Dedicated, victorious.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the late.
Faun Ultra. We're the future. These once respectable speakers have been conquered. A small heat emboss on...
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here. These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk. No, officer. You're a high-class policeman who accepts nothing less than the best. Lucky for you, I've got the best on sale. Well, if on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents? Super cool! Now the premium lifestyle is yours, officer.
The sneakers seem to vibrate in your hands with an...
The junk is yours, officer. You keep coming back.
If he really wants to save the economy, you find your hat. The box smells like cat.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first.
Something cold grazes your hand.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only gotta prepare for springtime, right?
There's nothing else to do.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. Even I can see, though I suppose you took the worst of it. turns out you were your own ill omen. I'm not sure those were the last of the men with guns either.
Then we'll be ready.
Officer, what happened? You're limping. Why are you limping? You look terrible.
You're not limping. You're you.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
You didn't only get shot.
Well, good for you. Of course. Can I help you with something?
Alcohol, man. That's exactly.
Now there's a whole shipment of big words.
She doesn't even understand. You.
That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead. I'm sad to hear that. Take care of that with ether, will you? Don't get too many RCM.
That's cool. You boasted your bacterial infection like that.
Nothing. Just ruins. Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war.
Who has been?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like about hundreds, maybe thousands even. The kids, the twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that...
Be my guest. They've a strange way of talking. Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful.
Aye, aye, Captain.
If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two.
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it...
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone.
And that iron. That's, nothing. It's just a seaford and some plants. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. Gather the sticks for the fire. And bullets. There are lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a guy.
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Because he asks to put the fire out. I don't know. He doesn't like it. Yes.
Because he doesn't want to be found. Smoke traces.
I don't know.
Did you mean there are...
Yes. No, he doesn't live there. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Anything else?
I don't know. We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there. Our father killed himself. Don't say that, he didn't.
Shut up. Don't punch your brother, please. Don't start crying.
I'm not gonna start crying. Doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. Father isn't the fire guy. There's
Lights, fire guy.
Hello, mister. Bye.
A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. It's once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the nitpicker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this. She's whistling a melody. Why does that trill sound familiar?
Hey there. I've been recording some new audio from all these beams and rafters. The sound's travelling through them, but that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to thank you instead for getting me and my friends in here. And we even found some new associates, such as they are. Good, I think. Noid is getting a read on the place. I think he finds the carpentry very impressive. Andre's been setting up the compressor and dancing. Egghead's been keeping the party up. He's got the stage under control. Sorna, the programmer, she's doing whatever she does behind that radio computer of hers. She does. Sure, you helped us out. Oh, but earlier today, I just tried to stay away from the crab man. But he talks to Noid. They seem to have some thing going. Who knows? He doesn't really beats me. Noid, who do you want to know about? Andre.
She rubs her sides, but not from.
He takes care of shit. Sorry. I mean, he's got a vision. Nothing. Must have taken it as a... I've never seen him so psyched. I mean, not that he does drugs, just high, you know? Yes. Who do you want to know about? He's a four-burger, I guess, like the rest of us. Okay, maybe not Egg. He's real hardcore about the lifestyle. What do you mean, do? Like, for a living? He's a carpenter. He abides by the hardcore, sir. Sir, I abide by the law. It's just something poor four-burg kids... I don't know, man. Have you been down Boogie Street? It's a little bewildering. Okay, then you should go and take a look, I guess. Boogie Street is cool. It's got a lot of Yeah. Who do you want to know about? What do you mean? Oh, that. He's the party boy. And Nordic music doesn't really do vocals in the traditional sense. Vocals are thought of as rock. That's to say they're a bit...
Pachoo, swish. Your credentials as the resident future man of Revachol are being questioned. Show her you're hip with the times, Gramps.
Yes. Anyway, even if... He basically...
I understand. People are usually afraid to do things if others aren't already... Anyway. Yes, I suppose we did. Tore it to pieces.
What do you want to know? Actually, we don't know where... One time we were out partying somewhere in backwater Forburg. Egg was yelling along to some jam someone was spinning. All night long. Egg came with us. He made this wheezing... It was definitely Coal City. People were sweet. Who do you want to know about? Me? Again? Yes. Sure. Ouch. I did notice you. When I was 16, I used to date this guy who had a limp. But it only... Anyway, shot in the leg.
Man, you're like... bleed? Of course. Drink first, story later. Not much, but it will do.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm. But the burden of leadership weighed 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical... It did. With my trusty Sansaric, but now dreams are worn. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's...
His eyes are clouded. His dilated blood vessels encircling his iris. His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation. Wet, okay? It was raining. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped, and ouch indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then, so I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment. I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office. I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was... People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? The hobo lifestyle definitely has some perks. Not having to pay rent, first and foremost. But that charm wears off pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're wearing a shit-stained... Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think... I used to own my reality situation. Now, I can't hang on...
A lost jacket. Sounds like a mystery you could look into.
I'm all ears, Tequila.
Between you and me, this is why I don't get involved in local politics. In its purest form.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Oh my god! Things have gotten out of hand! I thought the psychic stuff was bad, but the crime, it's even worse. I haven't been able to come to work for 3 days. The shop has been locked. No sales, gangbangers running around, shooting everyone. I know I shouldn't have bought it. Oh my God! Even the police can't take care of all of this. Just look at that limp. Maybe I should close the bookstore and I could teach people to protect themselves against bad energies and to fight crime.
Yes, what Martinez really needs is...
Exactly. It's a brilliant idea. In the meantime, do buy...
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown. An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown. You rattle the... An old door, worn by elements. You rattle the handle a bit, then an old door, worn by elements. You rattle. An old door, worn by elements. You rattle the... An old door, worn by elements. You rattle... An old door, worn by elements. You rattle... An old door, worn by elements. You rattle the handle. An old door, worn by elements. You rattle... An old door, worn by elements. You rattle... An old door, worn by elements. Guard, you rattle... An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has... You rattle the handle a bit, then push. An old door, worn by elements. You rattle the handle a bit, then push. An old door, worn by elements. You rattle the handle a bit, then push on the door with all your weight. It does not budge. Not only is it locked, it's also jammed shut.
We don't get in there. Frankly, you're just going to have to accept the fact that you can't get in through every single door. Relax, no one's hiding in there. If we can't open it, others can't either, and thus they can't get in.
At least you can think about opening it, about doors in general. They are, after all, fundamental to your life. Perhaps something useful would come from this. An old door. You hold in your hand the colorful primer. This book will show you the score. Get you all the alphabet. Every page has one word designating A is for H is for Q is for quasar. R is for rhododendron. That's it.
Good. I also know the alphabet.
In your hands, you hold, indeed. You flip through. The real art is the back cover. She can't be much older than in cold, detached prose. As ethnic tension, it would physically fuck it. Do it. It can't be worse than what you've already felt. They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair. And in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man, he toils through she spends the memory of their short time spent as life leaves the good stuff. I fucking loved this. One more door. There is no way to open the supply depot door. Accept it. You cannot open all the doors. You have to integrate this into your character. Some doors will forever remain. Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective, Dick Mullen. Crime fiction is a disgrace. These books great. What's more, not a single mention of all the stress. You see, Dick Mullen on the job. Get me, a killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the owner. Turns out he faked it to solve a case. Yes, tragedy calls. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, a worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be, could it be the motifs of unstable? Then this is the book for you.
Of course. Such violence and immorality. I mean, enjoy.
In your hand, you hold the cover, the tagline.
Are you really reading that, detective? Good luck finding it. He's not...
The point is for the reader to feel like they're solving the crime, along with Dick Mullen. The story opens. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vesper to a small town along the Elysium coast. 2 days later, desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vesper police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder.
What's the matter, detective?
The lieutenant shrugs, resigned to the idea that his profession will rarely, if ever. Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returned, and not just any dame. She's truly one in a million, a knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. She's any man's Are you sure about that? Something about her. You couldn't handle a woman like that. Stop. Nothing. Forget it. Go back to your story. Deneuve revealed not only is the local police captain outwardly that he would certainly have the motive, a typical privet. The kid doesn't exactly. Torvald. That said, one evening, yes, comfort and pleasure, the warmth of another human's touch, the burning taste of liquor on her full, sweet lips. As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Deanna always aim for the same. Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks. When Mullen comes to, Mullen trashes. The heat is on. Can you solve the case before? What is it, detective? There was never a time for a moment. From nowhere, you won't find the answers. It's a dangerous life. Is it really so evil, detective? Like what? There are worse things in the world than the pursuit of chemicals. So, who did it, detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve? What? Now go on. You begin You try to dozens of pages scatter across the floor. The last...
perhaps this is a sign that you should get back to solving...
Don't forget, in your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. Shelves full.
A true cultural touchstone.
The greatest innocent. Browsing through your educational... That's the Dolores Day. Incorrect. Sola resigned. Incorrect. Her colors are silver, white. Steer clear. A strange sense... Yes, the correct. As the question 2. Easy. And innocence. I can do better. Okay, great. Dolores. Incorrect. Correct. Franco Negro attempted to... Question 3. Who? Yes. There seemed at least it clearly was. Correct. The most famous and final stretch. Of course, zeroed. While incorrect. Oh yes. Yes. Incorrect. Oh yes. Yes. Incorrect. Correct. Everything from Inter Iso and more. Congratulations on a D. Not particularly. You would have done better if you just...
What's going on with you? Okay.
You are shouting. This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance,
I can't have you end up.
amidst the point of the book and many others on this shelf. It serves wholeness. When it's up to your mind, various paranatural books.
I can't have you.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages.
If you say so, but you better stay away from those immoral occult rituals.
Large letters of text under mysterious, none of that written, a blurb. Succumb to a world of high pasternal. Exactly. In no time, you pry open a reprint. It doesn't see a quick guide. The options are in the Welkin Cup, a grand, the Tueog. They're just a very small, the least popular of the. It's made from some sort. You place the die into. You see a map.
Interesting. A communard. A communard. One of the leftist revolutionaries in the anti-centennial revolution. The figurine is not a part of the real game. I have a feeling the figurines are...
You pick the figurine up by the base to a colorful box with the title. The greatest. Browsing through your educational survey is done. Probably for the best. Browsing through your education, it seems rather a pop quiz. Thanks, Dolores. Incorrect. Her color stare. Yes, a pop quiz. Thanks for nothing. Dolores. Incorrect. Her colors steer clear of this one. A strange sensation of yes. A pop quiz. Thanks for Dolores Day. Correct. Nothing much is as the first innocence. Question easy. Incorrect. Even though the correct Franco Negro attempted. Question 3. Incorrect. 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 No. Correct. The most famous final stretch. Of course, this is my thing. The reason I exist in this zeroed while it incorrect. While Franco Negro, oh yes, military, yes, correct. Everything from Inter East and Morbid. Congratulations, a D. You would have done better if you just left Dolores. The lieutenant, how is it possible that you're messing this up? In your hand, you hold. Why? There's truly no point. If you insist. The story opens. Spillane needs Mullen. 2 days late, desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince. Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Deneuve revealed not only is a typical, the kid doesn't exact outwardly. He would certainly. Torvald. That said, Torvald. That said, Torvald and Spillane. One evening, Deanna didn't. Yes. Comfort and pleasure. The warmth of another human. As the two lovers always aim, whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. Who can you trust in this wicked, messed up world? The lieutenant gives you when Mullen comes to. Mullen the heat is, and you'll never know what happens. In your hand. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Because you see it. Finally. This wall is sublime. Look at it. All the other walls on all the other... Oh, wall father.
Huh?
He sounds tired. You already have the heavy fuel oil to use as paint. It's red. And Cindy the Skull has a paintbrush. This is on.
If you must.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is... and his shirt is still unbuttoned.
It was mine. My friends use it from time to time to visit me. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. Trust me, you do. Mm-hmm, that's...
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
That's nice, but I don't have...
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette. Downstairs, a cat.
Besides...
Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
Just look at it.
He's right. Only losers go to... Something flutters in the corner of the...
We'll talk. Just take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Who knows, detective? It's right after you.
A weathered brown door. Something smells good. The lieutenant motions to you to go ahead and knock. And someone turns down the radio. Tidying up.
it's you from the bookstand. I don't think I introduced myself properly. I'm Billy.
The lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses and is busy cleaning them in his handkerchief for now. You're on your own here.
Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? I can come pick him up in the station if that's what.
Keep it together. You don't want your body language to tell her the news.
Sorry, I'm rambling. It's just that Victor often gets into all kinds of trouble. So, how can I help you?
It's like ripping off a bandage. The least painful way is to do it straight away, without stalling. I don't want to. There has been enough pain. I don't want to do this. Force yourself. Slap yourself.
Say what?
Officer.
Too late. You ruined it. Just say it now.
Excuse me? What? What did you say?
She's in pain. She's in... You sense that the lieutenant is ready to say something. Don't let him. Fix this yourself. You did this. The lieutenant closes his mouth, but...
Just tell me what happened to Victor. Expired? Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I just need I don't know what to say. I guess what I want to know is, how did he die? And you just found him there? Lying in the cold? How long had he been there?
She doesn't reply. Her eyes well up with tears as she struggles to keep it together. You hear the clock ticking in the children's room.
Is there anyone we could call for you? A friend, a family member, someone who could be here for you?
No. I just need to tell my girls.
It burns like acid. Unreal.
God, should I call them? Should I tell them to come home? All right, I'll call them. Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him? And who should I contact?
He was taken to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Here's his number, in case you want to contact him earlier. Is there anything else that the RCM could do for you?
No, I'll call you if something comes up. I'm still a bit...
Again, if there's anything we could do for you...
She just nods. These are her last reserves of strength. Her muscles will give in soon to a scream.
I'll take it from here. Thank you.
We should step outside and talk. So, the death notification. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I'll call the station tomorrow and let them know the name of the deceased. There's not much we can do for them anymore.
They have to. It's not your place to live their lives.
And, officer, I've seen worse. This wasn't the worst I've seen, okay?
Kuno care? Alright, so you got Kuno's kilo. Here is how we do it. First, you give Kuno Kuno's kilo, then Kuno gives you half back. That's how we split it. It's the best way. Street way. Kuno knows what Kuno means. Word on the street is, you sent your little friend in dressed as a hooker, distracted him. That's some sick shit. Tell your little slanty-eyed friend, respect from the Kuno. Kuno wants to hear all about it, but first we split the kilo, then we shoot the shit. Wow, that's heavy. There you go. More than half in there. Kuno's fucking honourable like that. Now tell me, how the fuck are you still alive, pig? The fuck do you know about Kuno's life? Kuno's got plans. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we got plans.
Yeah, so fucking what? Fuck are you talking to Kuno about that kiddie shit?
He's trying to fuck you again.
Fuck out of here. Kuno knows it's fucking lame. That's why Kuno changed it. Kuno can change his name into anything. Gonna change my name into...
Don't change your name into that, Kuno.
Yeah, you do some Sambo shit, sneak in. Was the Beano-clad hooker thing real? What?
His posture changes. The swaying rooster motion stops for a second. Then he gets it going again.
Fuck right. Kuno's dad was sleeping like a bum. Kuno told ya. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about anything. Fucking breaking and entering shit. That's nothing to Kuno's dad. You got lucky, pig. Kuno knew this. Kuno's fucking violent fiend dad's been drinking hard lately. Kuno knew you have a way in. Narrow window. Kuno window. Yeah, Kuno's dad is fucking nothing. Fucking coma shit, stroke shit. Kuno's dad is so fucking violent. He's had a stroke many times. Shit. Kuno's gonna have one too. Gonna be just like Kuno's dad. Speed shit, crime shit, fucking on the bed. Kuno's gonna go out like Kuno's dad. Revachol West style.
Stop saying all this sad shit, Kuno.
Fuck are you talking, sad? Kuno's got hard shit, death shit, nothing shit. Get your fucking nun ass out of here before Kuno fucks it dead. You think 'cause you brought Kuno 1 gram of speed, you're friends now? Turn into... Kuno ain't turning into shit. Kuno is that shit.
Kuno won! Oh, you won, Kuno!
He did not win. There is a crack in there now, and it's spreading across the face of his certainty.
Fuck right there were. Fucking 3 years or some shit. Fuck that shit. Kuno's gonna move underground.
Yeah, in a tomb, Kuno.
Yeah, you do some Sambo shit, sneak in. Was the Beano-clad hooker thing real? What?
His posture...
Fuck right. You got lucky, pig. Kuno knew this. Kuno's fucking violent fiend dad's been drinking hard lately. Kuno knew you have a way in. Narrow window. Kuno window. Yeah, Kuno's gonna have...
Stop saying...
Fuck are you talking, sad? Kuno's got hard shit. Get your fuck turn into...
Kuno won!
He did not win. There is a crack in there now, and it's spreading across the face of his certainty.
Yeah, pig, this shit is done. Now get the fuck out of Kuno's face. Kuno needs to drop the bomb. Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck do you want with it? Oh, that. Kuno decapitates pigs. Yeah, Kuno plays on snuff radio. Good call, Pigmeister.
The bed's a little nicer now. You could get a good night's. The window is fixed. The sheets are new. It's
It's easier this time. Drifting off.
This respite. You've earned it, brother. Basking. No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
You're welcome, Harry.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But what's this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the...
Go.
Yes?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Something is wrong. Only no reply.
It's been this way for a while now. My guess is the Union is listening in on our conversation. It only happens when someone mentions the attack. The rest is unaffected. No more dangerous than stepping between 3 armed mercenaries and 8 I don't like it either, but that's the way it is. The street seems safe enough. You can try calling again. Just don't mention.
Everything sounds okay. No drumbeat of total war. In the cabin, you see as... There's nothing else. The skiff floats. Once you get in, that's... Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your... Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Eternally. Want to be free. Eternity. Disco
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. Let's go. The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
Ah, yes, so it seems. Technically, no, it doesn't.
He's right.
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you...
As a defensive measure.
From enemies. Enemy...
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea. The flock of quail departs, now more than 100 meters away, 102, 105. On the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes sway like a silent orchestra tuning. At the beginning of some major, a silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree. The faraway roar of the city, a low hum. The air slowly moves. Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there, called a mamadakwa.
Yes?
This is where a lesser man would stop to think about the pain shooting up his right leg and into his groin. Not you.
It is. Is that why we are stopping?
The lieutenant nods in silence. There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh.
You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead. Yes, anytime.
Books and magazines, most are among what is mostly
Someone's made themselves a home.
Not that you can tell. Maybe it's a The print. Soft covers. Syrup. An old cylindrical generator is nested above. The lieutenant puts his hand.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the... There's a red starter switch on the recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old war.
That should do it. Downstairs, someone...
The tank is far from full. Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet.
The console of an antique computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires... I think, yes. Let's see. That one. The emergency open.
The lighting in the room turns on with a sizzle. The dial slides under the glass, dark and silent. The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
After you. I don't know. Don't worry. I have a gun. I know. It was not easy to acquire. An old man, wearing tracksuit trousers, leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours, unclouded by cataracts. His eyesight is sharp.
I did. The boat engine. On the water. My eyesight. Yes. Helps me see all the shit. The what now? I can't hear you. I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position? Sounds like a hiding place.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up. It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done. It's a 3-Angong 446.
A Samuran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball. Yes, I bet you've killed a lot of people with it. You fascist fuck. Have you come to me? Me, one of them?
His left eye twitches. With what? Fear? Rage?
We have come to ask you questions, nothing more. If you do not comply, we will take you in. Do you understand?
Another spitball lands in the ashes. That's all the answer he gives.
No. Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand. He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present to be afraid and cold.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
No one said it has to be a Belma grave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily...
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. All it has to do is the right type and the right calibre. I wonder how old it is.
The old man does not answer. He just sticks. The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. Some kind of involuntary response. Something is slightly off with his motorics. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
Real music. It's La Revacholière, you shit-licking bougie dog. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites. The job of a bougie dog. It is the anthem of the World Revolution. One of 3. In Grad, they sang Brave Children, favorites of history. And in Sinyao, it was some Samaran shit, I guess. How did it go? Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know.
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him.
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties. 43 years. No. I've been on other islands too. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago. 43 years and 10 months. It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget.
He just couldn't. He nods. But he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting. Always waiting for her to return.
Her who?
girl child. Revolution. I am not a fool. I know the material base, the historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do. I was just 16 years old, 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took for reaction to take hold. May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships, their bit for the combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower, huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be... I ran. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkered airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress, they'd all drowned in the lower levels or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope, and then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death, that the bourgeois are not human.
The old man does not say more. Those black eyes of his.
It's not an island, what? It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender. The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the full coalition military, called it Operation Deathblow. Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone. Iblis. The black-eyed angel. How does anyone survive? I steal.
Now hold on there.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables, supplies. It's the life of a dog.
How is your health?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns. I have them. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with I don't even know what. Inferno?
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering. It's disgusting. It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching.
They were posters.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated, and others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they... At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just... I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right? I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGray.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across. Wait, how did he get down there?
I didn't have to. Came in through the storm drains.
Storm drains?
There used to be a system that connected the bunkers, tunnels and such. Under the church, the propaganda bunker.
Propaganda?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys. A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent them. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black...
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army. Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. The
old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the...
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the commune.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology. He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
You're inert lumpen with a...
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions regarding a murder.
The old man spits into the fire pit. The expression on his face is
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce. I've used it
for killing people.
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But this is what you live for. This is the shit. The great serotonin jackpot. The solution. Go in straight. No euphemisms. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first.
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer. The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
Oh yes, that one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
Not a lot of guns around that use military grade.
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
You didn't handle anything. I watched it happen. You let those murderers rip right into them. None of those people mean anything to you. The vultures feed on this city, and you prepare the meal for them.
So you watched the fight? Did you like what you saw? The mayhem. It was all your doing, your plan. You got them killed.
You don't know anything.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? .46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have...
Murder.
Here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up. You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul. Nothing else comes up. You see the lieutenant watch you try to stimulate thought processes by hitting yourself. I'm sorry, this didn't do anything. Usually hurting yourself does.
Officer, a word? I think we may have this. From nothing to this in a day. This is good, Lieutenant Gefreiter. We just need a confession first, and then maybe a solid motive later. Good. We are doing very good. He wants to confess, I can see that. We just need to pile it on a little more. Ballistics. Let him cook here for a minute or two. We can have another look around the island for a sniper's nest. I think we should check out the post. I can see that, yes. I'm not... Yes, good going. Remember, he wants to tell us, but he doesn't want to help us. It needs to look like we already have it.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use, and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it. filled to the brim with cigarette. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri.
Yes, this guy gets around.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window. Quite old and grimy from years. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire, Capeside. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags, Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the roof.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, but
cheek against a cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere. Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands. We will make up for it.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the Indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, it's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought process. You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. Is this some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
It's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
Like some kind of decadent rock star. No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled.
Petty bourgeois law.
A drop of blood in the saliva.
Damn hay bells. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. And the coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash fodder.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret path?
I may. Classier. With the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa.
Show me the souls, please, Mr.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is called Sensory. These are not the unusual horizontal pattern souls you saw in the dust on the floor of the...
The size fits, but not the soul.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters?
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silence suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood. Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds. Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary...
The lieutenant raises his right arm while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her. Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own, and so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle's scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it.
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
Splat. A bloody spitball lands on the firewood.
Them. Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But
this man has seen past her, like you did. The caliber of bullet he used does not do that kind of damage.
since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut. After she was gone.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to why would I need that trash?
There it is again. The strange neurological state.
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks. And a body. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged.
The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
It quickly comes to you.
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing. All at once.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip-point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass. I've been through all of Martinez. Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
There's There's nothing to hold on to. Only this.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water.
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know. Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something. No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of our room on the floor, like she does sometimes, the day after I killed him. Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore. Maybe, I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you. If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days. Gone. I knew it. She'd look, at night, crying or smoking on the roof.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
A tragic comedy.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. The familiar put of hatred.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He led some nihilistic advertising yuppies. Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class. Intense, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Quayamoran, or some other island they built. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain. We did good when we pushed him under the horse car. Until, in the 30s, those disco whores.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. What was that about? Steroids? There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people. And the Sucrian on her yacht? Joyce? Probably. Boom boom morons on thin ice. Going under. Those are the tent kids.
Whores. Yes, steroids. A racist on steroids. What is my opinion? You think the rich man has an opinion on this idiocy? Is the rich... No. The rich man's looking at real estate and fiddling his kids, wading through the corpses. You moralist types are all crypto-fascists, eternally fascinated with... The rich man doesn't care about complexion. Syphilis is a disease Philip III contracted in a hole. The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why? Forgot. The party had each of the... Some advertising cockroaches used their accumulated capital to erect a new...
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been... It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot from it.
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture. I should have spared the...
Yes, shameful. So...
The fat union man let them put it there. Corrupt as he is. Probably got a fat...
He keeps having opinions about the union's leadership.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass.
Edgar.
He talks a big game about first against the wall with him.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing.
Of course. Maybe the Clares asked him to.
I haven't approached anyone. I hid.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains. Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. I was right about one of those things. "20 years ago, neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clares came to power.
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took... You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways. They were boom imbeciles. At least they're not there anymore. What more is there to say? They're duped by bourgeois culture. I've seen their kind pop up, like worms after the rain.
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water. He acknowledges it.
That bourgeois cow, Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker. She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away.
No, that's...
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally.
No, I guess it was not. She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the river.
Because she was dead. The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job. And a moving target. She was going home. waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was, heading home to Grand Coron or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people. Someone shot her, or maybe the cow just fell. My memory, nothing changed. Not in the
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk. We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even...
A degenerate worker state. Go shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for... Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best one, a Sucrion. Women like her, I can't believe the inert lumpen out there. They just let her drive her little...
If only he had the ammunition.
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him, but that one.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston. Alone.
Fat and plump. Like a pheasant. Just begging to be popped off. Please, mister. Not yet. I like to look at him strut around. Place the cross.
Save the treat for later?
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that better, I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood. No. I waited too long. I waited too long and now he's dead?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
They're all dead now. Fuck it. All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. Now, God damn this world. Fuck you. You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days. Something strange is keeping him together.
Glad we talked about what?
His lip curls into a sneer.
Glad we talked about what? What? But you said I would be taken to the...
Your Wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But... No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat. Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then...
There's something you're not getting here that he's realized.
Who watches over him there while I come back for you?
Lillian. You could ask her, maybe. You thought you heard something.
Maybe we could all fit in there. Actually, no. This is no harmless old man.
This fucking world. This world. What is this?
No, listen. Listen now.
No, it would take a whole day on this island. You go and transport the prisoner. I'll be here. I can escort him to the pier with you.
This world? What are you talking about? Is this...
The wind is cold. Your skin is crawling suddenly. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds. Limb by limb, it's still there. An unfolding mechanism.
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from his head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks.
It is.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera. No, the flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the phasmid's limbs.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
You see the phasmid turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
Understood. Of course.
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air, slowly. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence. As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you, praying to you. Unwittingly, the insect continues its stridulations. As it moves, tuft-like structures, still pretending to be plants, rustle along on its joints. Perhaps it is preparing to eat its god.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you.
I got it.
A shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even no reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you. The invertebrate stops, raising its side-like arms and tilting its tiny head, formed from the fused plates around its mouth. For a second, the effigy is frozen. Then it nudges back into motion with a click.
I hate it. Tell me what it's like for you. Yes, holy is the Lord of hosts, and all the earth is filled with his glory. Now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist, shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms, all speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it will never ache. Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you, with all of creation reflected in your forebrain. It must be like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and writhing glass. Eternal damnation, even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you. That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on, rooting for you. And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. Bud from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater. So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect? Yes, no one detected me for such a long, long time. For thousands of years, I dithered, out of sight, trapped myself in greenery. No one believed I exist, almost no one, until you came, detective, dripping of blood that smells like strawberries, across the calm sea, the first in 1,000 years. Not even the birds know that, not even the water lilies. You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
Wait, so...
Yes, they don't mind. Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident. I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulandian Isoma. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molting, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys. No, no one believed I exist. Almost no one. Until you came, detective. Dripping of blood that smells like strawberries. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Revelshop, district of Martinez, March 51. No, you are. The moral of our encounter is I am a relatively median life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile senior nerve system ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all. It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind. You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident. We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if he misplaces us all one day? Or just forget? Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sigh, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
It doesn't look like that, no. You're just staring at it. Okay. Is it somehow related to the case? I think you should back away from the unstudied species now.
No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman. Turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Do it for the working class. You cannot lie to me. Behind you, it smells of fires. So awfully far you were prepared to go in her presence. And it. She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. And just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone. Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
What now?
Our suspect is not looking so good. We
This passport, issued by the Sovereign
Classia's hidden documents from the MT boy.
It's Clausia, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish, younger somehow.
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was, hiding place, or... Perhaps, but that still doesn't explain how it got into the nest. Like a magpie? What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other objects, which would be highly unusual. I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island, and the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it, but to seek this out would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod. She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk.
I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now, in another city.
No, she lied to us. Her so-called real name was not her real name. Somehow she's managed to lie to us about that too. I don't know, but it's not Katarzyna Alasia, or Klasia, or Anouk Meyer-Smith. We didn't... Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now.
What is it? What do you...
Something is very wrong with him now.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking, like an addict of some terrible substance. A light shiver passes him, followed by...
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid. Old age and shock. The appearance of the Phasmid in conjunction with the stress of the arrest. He spent his entire life here. For him to leave would be...
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should. No reaction. This is an old man, at last. No longer a tin soldier.
Did you take this passport and other papers from the boy on the coat?
There.
He hears us.
No reply.
Try something else? We got him.
I lost...
He turns his eyes to the reeds again.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie Phasmid. This site is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it?
Silence. Nothing.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up.
The plastic cape flaps around his face. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
Insulindian citizens
sounds an awful lot like. The skiff is swaying on the waves by the...
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought in. I want to call you a teapot, but I'm honestly kind of impressed. No idea where you got all that gear, but there's no doubt in my mind that some bad people are looking for it. Also, you look like a fucking idiot.
This is the man with sunglasses from the whirling in rags. But where are his sunglasses?
Oh, really? They don't seem bothered by it. That's because you're a cop in an exoskeleton. Actually, are you? Are you still a cop? There's so much disco going on, it's hard to tell.
Vic, calm down.
That's right. And you're some kind of murder machine.
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Quemar. And this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heidelstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us. We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent. It's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
Guilty as charged. I heard you lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on. Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that. You don't remember. You. Shit kid.
Maybe you've deserved it.
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went. Speaking of which, the giant aerograffito in front of the building, the one that's burning, did you do that? I knew it. Didn't I tell you, Trant? I told you it was our shit kid.
The line is from Lou Giatun's Mirova 82, isn't it? About girl-child communism, the titular returning character to ghost the apparition of... Good choice, Harry.
Don't encourage him, Trant.
Okay.
Lieutenant, my name is not Horse-Faced Woman. It's Judith Minot. I was assigned to your unit 2 months ago. I thought we were friends. Okay. Because you're my commanding officer, I really want to respect you. I want us to have a normal relationship.
That will never happen, Jude. He's the rudest man on Earth. He's the reason why the rest of us have to take sensitivity training. And I hate sensitivity training.
Yes, I'm Trant Heilerstein. I never said I wasn't Trant Heilerstein. What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's move on. Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk, and you won't be duped so easily.
Yes, I'm still Kinki Solagi, still a lieutenant from Precinct 57.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells? Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Trent fucking Heidelstam, and Guillaume Bevy.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Fuck you. You're part of this shit show. Do? It's a Major Crimes Unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We're shit here now, Harry. Because of you.
The 41st isn't...
Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember. You told us to fuck off. You said we are cramping your style. You're detective god. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die. Here we go. Alcoholic delirium. Visions. Almost back. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trent, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia. Episodic and, as displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Psychotraumatic amnesia? Trant? I can go for that. Shit kid is a broken man. Always has been. Who isn't? I know I am. But you know what? I keep my shit together. Also, I know a person can't wipe their own mind, however traumatic it gets. That doesn't happen. You're lying. Or insane. Or both.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before. Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
Okay, Trant, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a crétin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
For now, I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the potty? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
They can keep that pension. You're rock solid. You can put your clothes on hard.
Now, nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. Yeah, just stand there. It's cool. No, now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to our motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? So refreshing. It just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property. That's coming out of everyone's payslip. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
He squints at it, suspiciously.
Okay, and your gun?
What is it with all these material objects?
I don't care about your collection, you hoarding freak. Is one of them your service weapon? I only want to know about that one gun. Phew, he has it. I thought it was in the ocean. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone. So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
He's wounded. It's been a long week and he's handled an actual corpse.
A bit of a week? You're drunk, and you let the suspect escape, a certain Glacier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
Ah, well, if you let her go. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, who shot herself in the head. Or the fact that you're Evrard Claire's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 7 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Detective, it's better if I do that.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. You spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the superstardom. He likes to, from time to time, allude to being a superstar law official. At first I thought it was a joke, but now I'm not so sure. He says disco about 20 times a day. It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economist. He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which, again, for a police officer, is a little odd. Other still, he is also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always on the grind. How he reconciles these 2 points of view, I do not know. But he is vocal about both of them. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the constant smoking everywhere, all the time. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I've seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo and shows it to the officers across the yard. Rain comes down. He covers the glossy photo of the phasmid with his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk. What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church. That's great. Entrepreneurship is a great new career for you. After police officer. I don't care. Go live in the Pale.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay.
Female? What makes you think so?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female. And the nesting behavior too, I think.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates. Must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs.
It could maybe roll it, like a dung beetle.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so? Well, then it wouldn't matter if it's a male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary behavior from... Very interesting. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're probably looking at conservation efforts here.
In his mind, he's already planning a nature reserve and knows a good guy for that.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even discovers the Insulindian phasmid. No, that's too much.
This would really help with some of the problems we've been having.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest. You know, it's a really good thing you have that photo.
Without it,
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. This man's mother was Lilian. Is Lilian's son, Lilian?
So, it is...
Thank you, Trout. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been hiding for 50 years, 70-something?
A strange psychosexual fascination. The result of spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And trauma too. He himself gave a political reason. In his mind, he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that.
Masterpiece. Get over yourself, Harry. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. It will pass in time.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where Everard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
And eyes, too. Your return from the island must not have gone unnoticed.
Understood, of course.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
Yes, yes. Fallen through a gap in the boardwalk. Drunk.
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, Detective.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Why? That's not what you were supposed to do here.
There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay.
Of course. Call it community outreach, right?
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment, it seemed like you were just wasting time.
Who's Kuno?
You don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. You snorted the drugs. I know you did. It's all right. I mean, at this point, anything is but the drink. I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Us? We're the bloody murder station. Haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You are just understaffed, and everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station, and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run the C-Wing. It's not good.
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
Mac the Torso Torson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
They are damn iconic though, Torson and McLean.
Yeah, not like us.
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky.
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters.
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershaw. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant. It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
You really went with it too. Really maximized the damage.
Dora something. Dora Ingelund? Yeah, you mentioned her name.
Not Dora Dubois.
Something like that. Half-Vasen. No one is married anymore. This is Revachol. God, I don't know. 6 years ago? She was way before my time.
6 years and you haven't gotten over it? What the hell is wrong with you?
No, it was 6. Like ancient. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora England really tore you a new one. A big one. Incredibly bangable. Extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Pain Welkin.
I've only seen a picture. But it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Look, the sun is about to go down. It's time to go.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say which came first. The middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that. Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry. Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe... You haven't told us about that. You just told us about being a gym teacher.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair. Your moves on the church floor, which honestly was just jump aerobics. Your use of the word graffito.
Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy. And this guy, too. God, even this javelin-throwing freak here.
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries, and incredible hope. And
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Who is Lena?
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine. If we're gonna drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change. Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate. Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering. Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
Good.
Fuck it. Let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
under the noonday sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, to Boogie Street, forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?